Hello there, this is Mrs. Andrews. Since some of you are missing class today and I am missing class for some of you today, I thought I'd take a few minutes and record some information about how to finish up the unit so that everybody has a chance to get the information you need. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the debate. The debate is tomorrow, March 12th. The topic, in case you need to have the question reiterated one more time, is how should our society assign value to human life? I've got the guiding questions here on the slide for you. These are the same things that were on the board word for word. Remember, you need to have an opening statement at the beginning that covers why should our society value life this way. You can have one or two students decide to read this opening statement. It'll be probably about a page that you end up writing, just describing why you stand where you stand and to provide some input or background for your audience. The other questions: what problems will your solution experience? What solutions do you propose to the problems your side will have? And what problems exist in the other solutions? Those questions are there to help you figure out what you might need to do to prepare for this debate. If you have these questions in mind, if you've thought through them, you'll be able to answer quickly and precisely when the other side starts asking questions of you, or when you need to refute what the other side is saying. I also wanted you to know how you'll be graded on this. I gave you guys here a copy of the rubric. It is also going out to you guys in a message to remind later, so you can have a look at it. But I want you to know we're doing a 3-point scale. The first, or a 3 is really good, a 2 is middle, and a 1 is you're not getting it done. There's 4 areas that I'm going to be looking at. I'll be looking at your opening statement, which is that thing, the prepared statement I talked about, where you have 1 or 2 students speaking for your group. There's a rebuttal. Rebuttal is how you argue against what the other side says. So you'll have a chance to actually kind of pick apart their argument. There are counter arguments. Counter arguments are actually not just picking apart their arguing, the other side's arguments. You'll create arguments or you'll ask them questions or make points about the problems with theirs. So in a rebuttal, you kind of defend your side, and in a counter argument, you actually will kind of pick apart their side, is the best way to think about it. And then you'll also have a conclusion. You may want to pre-write your conclusion, but you may not. You may want to select somebody in the group who can do a really good job of kind of putting ideas together on the fly, if you will, after you've had a chance to talk about what's gone on in this debate. You need to have a conclusion that kind of takes a look at the whole overall argument that you guys made, maybe acknowledge some of the points from the other team made, but then also go back and restate why your idea is the best way of doing it. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is turning in your work. Our unit work needs to be turned in at the end of this week, so I have time to get it graded and into your grades for their third quarter. So I'm telling you now, your unit work is due tomorrow, March 12th. I'll still accept it on Friday, March 13th without penalties. So if you need to finish up work, you can do that. After March 13th, it will be docked points and it will not have time to appear on your quarter grade report. So for those of you guys who need to have those points, you need to make sure you get it in by Friday. If it's not in by Friday, even with an excused absence, I do not have time to get it graded in time to have it in your grade. You won't be penalized if you have an excused absence point-wise, but it won't be able to appear in your quarter grade. So make sure you get that work in. If you happen to know you'll be absent on Friday, make sure you turn in the work on Thursday, because if you wait till Monday to turn it in, it will be too late to be graded. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is your final essay. So every unit we wrap up with an essay. It's what we do instead of a test, and this unit's no different. Your final essay for this unit is due on Friday, March 13th. You'll have the class period to work on it, but you might want to start it early. If you are absent, you have to turn it in through email. My email address is on this slide, mandrews@avhsd.org. And I need it on Friday so it can be graded and included in your report card grade. I'll be grading these essays over the weekend and will not have time to grade them after the weekend until the following weekend. So your essays have to be in by March 13th if they're going to be graded and appear on your report card grade. So as far as where to find the final essay, you'll find the prompt for the essay in Activity 42. There are two prompt options, but I really recommend number one. Number one focuses on the topics we've been discussing in class, and it also is the topic of our debate. How should our society assign value to human life? If you've done well in the debate or you've thought through the topic, you'll be really ready to write for prompt number one. Prompt number two is in the packet, and I'll let you take a look at that. If you cannot take a stand on prompt number one, you'll need to do number two, but you'll be held to the same grading standards as prompt number one. So I want you to understand that the focus for this essay that I'm going to be looking at is organization, your awareness of the audience, knowing who you're writing for and using appropriate words, language, and claims, and also the use of texts to support your claims. Understand that part of this is using the texts that you have in front of you to be able to support what you have to say. I also want you to know that essays that don't address the prompt, they don't answer the question, won't be scored and will be returned for revision. If you get it returned for revision, you'll be able to fix it and get the grade, but it, again, will not be included in the third quarter report card. So I wanted to take a minute and take a look at prompt number one with you and go over a few of the key elements that I want you to think about. So the prompt itself says, so far in this assignment sequence, we've heard a number of different voices giving insights into the value of life. Hamlet's soliloquy offers an emotional, metaphor-laden glimpse into the thinking of a young man contemplating suicide. Chris Jones's interview with Roger Ebert uses first-hand observations and excerpts from Ebert's blog and movie reviews to convey how the film critic thinks about life. Amanda Ripley's article from Time magazine provides insight into the problems involved in translating the concept of valuing human life from abstract terms into actual dollars and cents. A human life value calculator establishes specific criteria for assigning monetary value to a person's life. You might not fully agree or disagree with any of the text's essential claims about the value of life. This makes your voice an important contribution to the discussion about how we should value human life. Where do your ideas fit into the terrain mapped by these other texts we've read? Is it right to assign a dollar values to a person's life? Do suffering and illness impact how we should value life? Here's the part where I really want you to pay attention. Assume that the audience for your piece consists of intelligent citizens interested in this issue, the same types of people, for instance, who would read Time magazine. As you write your essay, think about the different ways the authors we have read make their points about valuing life. Depending on the points you're trying to make, you might want to use some metaphors for life, pay attention to that, as Hamlet does, or share observations and anecdotes, the way Chris Jones does. On the other hand, you may choose to include some words from people you interview. Now, although you might not interview people, you might have stories you can share about people you know. Or you might even decide to establish some criteria of your own for how human life should be calculated in monetary terms. If you end up deciding to try establishing criteria for how monetary terms goes, I want you to understand that you do need to spell it out, but it also gives you room to create potentially really good essay. But as you construct your essay, make conscious choices about the ways you can represent your ideas to your reader about how society should assign value to human life. Be sure to refer to and cite the readings. You may also use examples from your personal experience or observations. So this is a pretty long prompt. The highlighted areas are areas that I really want you to pay attention to because those are the pieces that you need to have in mind as you're doing your writing and making the choices about what you include. If you do that, you stand pretty good odds of actually getting a pretty good grade on this essay. So I want to come back one more time and talk about the essay. Option one. So I want you to have a few points in mind. The audience is intelligent readers. Make sure that you include evidence that's going to be relevant to an intelligent reader, but who doesn't necessarily have the discussion in mind already. I want you to propose a specific solution. It's okay to combine ideas from the debate. This does not have to be black and white. This is where you're welcome to talk about the shades of gray and talk about how you feel about this particular topic. Just remember that you're still addressing the prompt of how does society assign value to human life. So this isn't just you, this is the bigger picture. I do want you to understand it's okay to use the questions from the debate to help you decide what to write about. And you can write ahead of time so you have time to create a more thorough response. There's no rules against sticking to only the time I give you in class. In this case, I want you to give me the best essay you can give me, and I will give you the time to work outside of class on it. You have one period on Friday in class, and it's due at the end of that time. If you have any questions, you can email me, mandrews@avhsd.org, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. I'll see you guys in class on Thursday.